So I'm out walking the lava fields, and as you can see, they get covered with moss. And here I come upon a dark spot. It's got a hole. I look in there. I can't see where it goes, and so I need to take a look to find out where it goes. So I'm going to stick my head down in here. I'm going to go feet first, knock out some of the webs. Bugs like to live in the entrances because, you know, that's where the draft is, and a little bit of cold air. You want a lot of cold air coming down through there. I don't have a lot of cold air, so that is indicating that it might not be that big. It might just be a bubble. But as you can see, something going on down in there. So let me crawl in there. The area is colder in here. What you want is a draft. A draft indicates there's a room large enough somewhere to produce cold air to draft out the front of the cave. And I don't feel a strong draft. That's just a pit there. Pit, pit, pit. Goes around. Sometimes you get these bubble rooms that they're just a bubble, but there's a water bottle, so there's a garbage dispensing area for someone. So I'm still in the entrance, but I'm looking on the different sides of it. This room's great because there's a bunch of slugs in here, and I don't know why there are so many slugs. I just want to see if it goes on. I can mostly see from here. See the slugs? Slugs. Nice flat platform there. Spiders. I can't get beyond that point. So this is just a little, again, a bubble room. But this other one goes down there, so let's get out of the slug corridor. It may look roomy, but it's a tight little situation right here because of the way that it is. Because see, there's a bubble room here, and I want to take a peek in each one of these. Oh, there's bones, so an animal got trapped in here somewhere. Nice bones there. Maybe a deer bone or something, I don't know. I usually leave them alone. I think this is just a bubble trap. Okay, back to me peeking through here. In front of me, just bubble room. There's that water bottle. It's very old. Sometimes I pick up water bottles so that I leave a place cleaner than I found it. And sometimes I don't. It goes down in there somewhere. Not very easy to see. This does seem to go back in there. I'm going to pop the top off of this. It's going to get bright for a second so I can see in there. If it warrants further exploration, and it does. You and I are going down a very tight little area, but it's short. I don't mind short and tight. I didn't want to go down 50 miles in tight today. Very bad. It's very flat too, so that's very interesting. Let me do this. Okay. Now you can see how generally flat it is. Flat we can do all day. Not a problem. Oh, something snagged. That's very irritating. But it's not, wear a light shirt like this, I can rip through it. No problem at all. And sometimes that's necessary. Well, would you look at this little area? Very interesting. I don't think it goes beyond this much. Well, it might. I brought my sketching stuff, so I may just get that out and begin to sketch if it turns this corner. If it doesn't, it's just like a really interesting bubble. If it does turn this corner and it keeps going, then we have a cave on our hands. I still can't tell. Because some things are so small and so insignificant that, like, that's a neat little bubble room. But, you know, it's just layers of the lava fields rippling up and down. If you can't get in and walk around at some point, or at least if there's not a long, interesting crawl, it's really hard to consider it a cave. I mean, you can. There's technicalities for what's considered a cave based on the entrance. But, you know, no one's gonna care. And there's a what we call a lava Buddha, just a stopping point. So that's pretty much it, but I'll show you what I can see at least. So that is the end, of course. But a neat little area. So a lot of times it's like, well, what's the best technique? And it's not really about a technique that someone tells you to use and then you use that. It's like anything else. Once you get your body in something, then you have to figure out how to keep your body in that position, how to keep your body moving forward. And you know your own arms and legs pretty well. So once you just start crawling, your mind sort of just figures out, okay, what's gonna work best in this situation? And we make mistakes, you know what we do? We just back up. Sometimes we have to back up. It's a little irritating, but it's necessary. So this is a fun little area because this bush has grown in this little vine maple, making the exit very foliage. Dual recording phone mode. This is hilarious, but it's very beautiful. And you know, the basic rule of caving, or really anything you do, if you can, let somebody know where you're going. That doesn't seem too complicated. Well, there's a very significant hole right there I need to take a peek into. Wow, very interesting. I don't have any lights out. Let me pause you. I'll take you with me. You're going to get a little glare off my helmet because I have to be able to look inside this hole. I just saw this hole and, you know, look inside there, and that's pretty significant. Okay, I'm going to kick out some webs here. I don't really care about these kinds of spiders, but I also don't want to stick my face in them, you know. So, kicking out the webs, and got my backpack on. That's also a good way to get yourself a little bit stuck. Well, what do we have here? It's pretty... Sorry that I'm not giving you the best show here. The phone is not the best way to do this, but it curls back around. Well, see, this is what happens to the backpack. I'm gonna crawl in there. That's the way it is. I'll take you with me. It's just gonna get dark in spots. My face part might get dark. I guess I can back in just for fun, so you can see what it's like to say goodbye to the world. Sorry, I can't always watch what I'm doing because it's difficult. So you can see that I'm lit. When I turn the light around, I will disappear. There we go. Nice. This is pretty decent size. And it's got another hole over there. I have a big cave to do today, so this is not really what I think I'll be doing. I don't have any gear on. Wow, it's very even in here. I'm gonna have to mark this. It's about 2 feet high, so I can do little hands and knees right here. The dual recording's interesting. I can either get good front or good back. I certainly can't get good both if I try. Neither one turns out very good. Now that goes on. That's a pretty substantial. So you can see back in there how well you can't quite see back in there with this lighting, but my naked eye can see that tunnel's on a good amount. There's some tree roots. Well, is that spiders? No, it's just dirt. I'm looking for spiders' legs, spiders' beards. But that's a very interesting. I'll let you look back this way. That doesn't look like it goes that way very far. But this is an interesting little duck under. It's partially erosional. The floor is dirty. But it definitely goes around the corner there and becomes something of some interest. Now you can see back in there. That's that second room. Let me see if I can look in the other direction. I can't quite turn my head. And it looks like it ends that way. I can't quite see it. I'd have to go in there. It's not very tight, but I'd want to take my little rock chipper to get off like. See these rocks here? They're hanging about 8 inches from the floor. So that's pretty tight. You can see that those you could chip off pretty easy. You cannot see from your angle, but just trust me, the distance here is like, 6 inches from the floor to here. And so I could chip those off, and then it's just gonna give you a lot better avenue for going in there. Otherwise, those little boys are gonna scratch you up pretty bad, and it's gonna hurt. But cave or cove, I guess, depends on your attitude on a particular day, what you want to get in and out of. But this is interesting. I'm just using my headlamp. It detaches from my headlamp detaches from my head, so that's how that is. Anyways, I can't do too much. So I'm out here alone today, and the basic rule of caving is that you don't go alone. If you can, but look, sometimes I'll stick my heads in some of these caves. I let somebody know where I'm at. I set the GPS coordinates and everything to a friend. They know where I'm at. They know when I'll be in, when I'll be out. I bring food and water with me. And then this still goes around here. I bring food and water with me. And that way, if I get stuck, I have a few hours to wait for a rescue. It's never happened. I'll try something fun too. I can flip it while I'm recording. It's pretty neat. And then I can send you out of the cave. I'm back at the entrance. It's just a small little cave, but this is how big caves are found. You gotta stick your head in stuff. You gotta stick your head in and go. Somebody's gotta do the work. There's my bag. Cool. Well, it's a neat mode with the double camera, but the only problem is you lose the Steadicam on the phone, and the phone has a pretty good Steadicam. Look, it's a beautiful morning.